Hey everybody, it's Ray here, and I've got a very special guest with me. The one and only Chad Nicely is right over here, and today we're going to be talking about something that I've been sending out a lot of messages about because it is such a big deal. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I go to a website and I have questions and whatnot, when I don't see a chatbot and I can't get instant results looking for an answer, I get pretty aggravated very quickly. Well, Chad here is going to help us to figure out how we can end that for our websites so that when our clients show up, we'll be able to interact with them right away. So Chad, tell us a little bit about AIBot Studio.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Ray. AIBot Studio. Well, obviously, we know that AI is where it's at. In 2025 is going faster with AI than anything I've seen. I don't think it's going to slow down at all, right?
Nope.
So, it was. It's not something new to me. I've been doing AI for 3 years now. My buddy Nick introduced it to me about 3 years ago, and but this is the second version of this software that I've created, and a lot of the reasons why was because of the advancements and everything that have been happening with AI. But if there's one thing I have to say about AIBot Studio, it's going to be one word. You know what that word is?
I don't. What is it? Speed?
No. Simplicity.
Oh, okay. All right. That fits right in there. Yep. Speed, simplicity.
Yeah, simplicity. I don't know about you, but I've tried out a lot of chat builders, some that were built by my friends or whatever, and I log in and I feel like I'm trying to launch a space shuttle or something. And if you think about it, if you can set up a chat bot where you can customize it and make it look beautiful, where you love it and your clients love it, then really all you're doing is attaching something in there to start talking. So why does it have to be so complicated is my question to you. Like, why? There's no reason. And so my whole thing is, and you know this about me, Ray, because we've been friends and partners for a long time. I believe that everybody should be able to do 90% of what was promised in that software. Right? Or 90% of people should be able to do the one thing that was promised in that software. So we spend a lot of our time making sure that things are so stupid simple. In other words, if I'm building a bot, then if I decide to change my headline, I want to see it right here. And if I want to put buttons here, I want to see it right there. And if I change the color, I want to see it right there. So I just did a video where I created a bot, full function, beautiful, branded, themed bot with the logos and everything in 1 minute and 56 seconds. I was hoping to do it in 2 minutes. 1 minute and 56 seconds. So that tells me right there that we created something incredible. So now everybody's able to simplicity, crank out these bots in about 1 minute and 56 seconds. And now the smoking gun is that you can deploy them out there on the Meta properties, right? WhatsApp, Messenger, as well as Instagram, right? And this is what your clients are going to want. This is what you're going to want when you hear the second part of this message. You'll understand the opportunity there. But the timing is everything with this. The world is about to catch on to all of this. They're not here yet. I think something like, don't quote me on this, but maybe 5% of the world has tried ChatGPT. And from that, like half of them, you know,
seems like everybody has at this point, but
well, in our market,
we know it's a lot less, but
yeah, in our marketplace, yeah. But when you get outside this marketplace, normal people, like I've been telling everybody, like if you're watching this webinar, if you're on Ray's list, if you're on, you're not normal. You're special.
That's definitely true.
And you're very special and you have very specialized skills. You have like a doctorate in marketing compared to the rest of the world, right? And this is going to be one of the highest in demand services, and it's going to be one of the highest in demand things that you should have for your business too, right?
Yep. And I'll tell you, the reason that I get excited about this is because I've dealt with bots in the past, like you said, and it's not even so much the complexity and all that kind of stuff, but back in the day when I was messing with the bots before, it wasn't AI. It was, you had to put in the questions and you had to put in certain tag words and you had to and then hopefully the person who asked the chatbot asked it exactly what you needed it to ask, or they weren't going to get an answer. And with the AI stuff, it's so different. It is so much better because it really does understand what the person is asking and provides the best answer. And that's what really sets this apart from the stuff that we used to do in the past, which was a lot more complex.
And here's the thing. Most of the stuff that used to do in the past went that way, and it was a big old map that went.
Yep.
And this is the reason why I refuse to do anything with bots, why I refuse to do anything with those big old maps, because normal people don't think like that, Ray. Now, the fact that you were doing that stuff makes you extra special, right? I wasn't doing that. I was staying in the special crowd.
Now, I didn't do it much. I mostly played around with it and got annoyed by it is what usually happens.
You're talking about like ManyChat and stuff like that.
Well, ManyChat too. Yeah, I got into ManyChat for the Meta stuff. And even that, it was like, oh, it was such a pain in the neck. And then Facebook would change everything. And
yeah, it's complicated. And truthfully, I don't know, man. People say that you are very, very gifted into taking something very, very complicated and really simplifying it. But I also understand that, look, 90% of people need to do this one thing. So why do I need to put all that other stuff there that's going to stop you from doing the one thing? Right? I mean, you know as well as I do that I'm a very simplistic person, right? And less is more for me.
Yep. No.
If I can give you less and you have clear direction and know exactly what to do and you're successful, I'd rather do that than give you a menu of 500 items that's going to take you a year to figure out, and then something new comes out and then you're done. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
Nothing about software makes sense to me. I hope we're making sense.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing too, I know a lot of people watching this. We've got two different crowds that are probably watching this interview here. We got a bunch of business owners. So these are going to be the doctors, the dentists, the lawyers, the restaurant owners. And then we got our agency people that are looking at this. And the big thing is, you know, in the past, it was also really, really expensive to implement these things. You know, you had to charge a lot of money because there was so much work going into it. And realistically, and agency guys, you know, keep this part quiet, but you business owners, you can do this. If I can do it, and I'm not, you know, when it comes to a lot of these tech things, you know, outside of video, I'm lost on a lot of these tech things, and I was able to do it. I made a video the other day. You guys probably saw that, where I made the chatbot in 2 minutes, 3 minutes if you count all the yapping and talking I did, but 2 minutes I was able to put it together. And it was a very simple one. It was, you know, very basic, but we're able to boom, just get it out there and be done with it. And that's what makes this really, really special, is the ability for anybody to be able to implement it.
Yeah. Well, and anybody can, well, so there's things that I've done to make sure no matter what, you look like $1,000,000. Like you can't, back in the day, I used to give you 100% control of everything. And I saw some ugly pages being created, some ugly surveys. And now I figured out that let me give you an array of highlight colors that no matter what, it's going to look fantastic and the clients are going to be happy with it. Right. So there's a lot that I've learned over the 20 years of doing this stuff to make sure that people are able to plug in right away and not be confused, and they come out looking great, you know. And this is, I believe that this is probably one of the easiest softwares I've ever, created, right? As far as for user perspective.
I mean, I learned it you showed me it for 2 minutes, and I was able to make a video 3 days later, you know, still showing people how to do it. So it was not hard to figure out. Once you get in there, it's pretty self-explanatory. And, you know, when I've got somebody showing me the first time, it makes it real easy. Very, very easy.
Yeah. And the other thing is I'm doing something different on this that I've never done before. And Ray will tell you that when this launch ends, the price goes up. My software goes up in price. That's not a scarcity thing or a tactic, but we're including commercial rights on the front end. So I've never done that before. So if people, because I know the opportunity with this one, and it's a lot easier than building newsletters for people. It's a lot easier than building funnels for people, like a lot of our software. This one's this one's hot, right? So if somebody wants to walk in and do something for a salon or a dentist or whatever, then you're actually able to do that on the front end, which I've never done before. Now, we can talk about it, but there is a multi-client access level that you will want to get once you see how easy it is to make the sale and see how in demand it is, where you'll have separate API keys and separate client access. And that's where you'll want to go with it. But to get your feet wet, like I'm going to let you go out there and start making money right away, right?
Nice.
And because I know we have the right look, I know it looks great, and I already know. I 100% know with this one.
Yeah, I was away last week. For those of you watching and wondering where I've been, I was away last week with a bunch of doctors, and we came across this one guy and we met him. And as he was explaining what he wanted to do, the very first thing I thought of was AIBot's going to be one major thing that's going to help him to do exactly what he wants, not only with his website, but the Meta thing is really what's going to take it to the next level with him, because he wants to be able to put his stuff out through social media and get people to ask questions and comment. And, I mean, it's amazing.
And and so I'm sure a lot of people have heard about training the bots, right? We call it feeding the monster, right? You can do it with files, you can do it with Q&As, you can do it with text, we can do it with text blocks, you can do it, what else? With URLs, right?
I was going to say, our test one, we just took a website. I mean, when I did my video, we just picked a subject, picked a website, and trained the bot in 10 seconds.
And that's it. And that's all you have to do. In the demo for the sales letter, I did you'll see it on the screen, I did Square Salon. I just plugged a URL in. And you know what? Honest to God, that client, if you think about it, everything that's on that web page is what that client wants people to know. So if the bot is able to interpret people's intentions and thoughts and everything that they want and respond back to them in we have like witty humor, professional, friendly, There's like 15 different tones. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep.
If it's able to do that and then it's able to retrieve business hours and locations and pricing and, all that stuff, holy crap, the client's happy, man. Like this does not have to be complicated. And you can go into you can build a list with it and stuff like that, which is great. But man, this does not have to be complicated. It can be as simple. You can have just as an effective with one simple URL. And I'm not talking about a website. One simple landing page will do just as well as sitting there loading 1,000 files in there. Right? Because you gotta ask yourself, what are the bare basics that this client needs or that I need? And then let the chatbot take over with administering that, right? And communicating that.
Yep. And remember, guys, this is like having an employee there 24 hours a day. How many times have you looked up products at midnight because you're up scrolling and trying to figure things out for the next day, and you can't get on the phone and call a business at 1 o'clock in the morning, but you can certainly talk to the chatbot and get a lot of those answers right then and there to make that sale. Whether they have to call the next morning to actually make a sale or set an appointment, or they buy right then and there, you're going to be able to get those answers out there so they can make a decision, even if it's late at night or the weekend or whatever.
Yeah. And I think I told you this the other day that where we're at right now with this, like AI is always evolving, man. I mean, Ray, you still got Everless and Easy Links and stuff. That's from 14 years ago. So because if I were to sit here and tell people, hey, you know what? I build software every day. I update every day. It changes every day. Where it's at right now is not where it'll be from 6 months. A lot of people would call BS on that. And they say, he's just saying that. But this is my life. This is what we do. I have a whole entire team dedicated to watching AI and what's happening and what can we plug in and what can we change and what advancements do they have. So this is going to be a big deal. This is a great deal for people coming on the ground floor.
Yep. Love it. And by the way, do you want to talk a little bit about, because I know in the past when we've talked about some of your other programs, how they kind of integrate together. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's something that people may not catch just by seeing some of the videos that we've done and whatnot. How does this work together with tags and all that kind of fun stuff?
Yeah, well, I mean, and I don't want to confuse or overwhelm anybody, but we built our own integration center. Like, I know a lot of platforms out there don't like to play with each other. I want to play with everybody, right? So we built our own integration center that's integrated with every single autoresponder you could think of, every single CRM, every single, it doesn't matter if it's
Webinar
actioning,
platforms, you
go
name
high level, go to webinars, whatever it is. If there's an integration, we've connected it. And then the way you do that is, you're in all my software, including AIBot Studio. I already told you somebody's going to give you their email address. And when they do, whether it's an AIBot Studio or some of our other software, if we get an email address or we get a phone number, we fire off a tag. And now that we fired off the tag, we can send it into that integration center and then we can put in all those different integrations at once, which replaces Zapier, or we can send out emails, or we can drop in pipeline. We're kind of a big secret out there, right? And I don't want to overwhelm anybody, but it
right.
automatically comes with it.
Yes.
So
And again,
when
for
people
those
buy
of you who want to keep it
software,
simple, you don't have to do all this stuff. You can just have the greatest bot in the world. But remember, there's some extra
yeah.
hidden things in there you can do that
And
makes this really
when
stick.
people buy our software and they see that there's a whole entire CRM and integration center, they're like, how did I get this? Was this a bonus? I'm like, no, it comes with all of our software because we want to make sure you succeed. And yeah, it's been a big project for us. We've been working on it for a while, and I'm super happy. I use it every day. And this here, not to complicate things, but Ray, I don't build products to launch. I create an opportunity first, and then I say I need to build a software, right? And so with this here, I discovered an amazing opportunity that I'm going to share with you here in a second. But I also want you to know that, we build a lot of courses, as does Ray. We build a lot of software. We do a lot of trainings. If I write a book, I don't care. I'm going to have a bot for everything now. Everything. We use Freshdesk for our support. We're going to have a bot for that. Calendly for our appointments. We're going to have bots. Like all of this stuff, we're going to use this. But here's what I realized. We are monsters when it comes to content creation. The one thing I did right is I have saved every single Zoom recording I've ever had for the last 5 years. That's the reason I don't have any room on my
Yes, we were
drive.
discussing that earlier.
Yeah, but somehow I knew back in the day, Ray, that I needed to save this stuff because at some point technology was going to advance and I was going to be able to do something with it. Right. So if you think about all the different ways you can create media, whether it be PDFs, whether it be video, whether it be courses, whether it be sales pages, whether it be newsletters, I basically set this up to be a training center where not just you loading a file and putting a URL, but the future is all of our software just automatically feeds into the training center and it just automatically trains the bots automatic without you doing anything. And it's all kind of set up by tags and that's kind of the future. And it's a little advanced for what's here, but I just want people to know that I'm not creating a software to go build another piece of software. No, this is something I had to have in my business and there's a huge play with it. Massive,
Good,
massive.
good to know. Yeah, and every business out there, you gotta have that bot. I mean, think about it. We mentioned doctors and dentists and things like that. I mean, think about that. People are going to be asking questions, and if you can integrate a lot of stuff in there, you can do some pretty darn cool things that are really going to help your customers. If you have a bunch of products and you need to have information about those products, think about that. If you sell training courses, people are going to come in and they're going to say, well, what does this one actually teach? There's the information on what it's all about and get that sale right then and there. It's going to increase your sales. I think, what did I read the other day? I think it was like the bots and this wasn't about AIBot. This was just chatbots in general, increase sales by about 30%.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And AIBot Studio will be, there's a reason I chose that name. That is a perfect name. It will be ahead of the curve on everything because we're focused on it every single day. And like I just said, I was telling you, Ray, I said, and this isn't now, but this is in the very, very near future, like weeks from now. We're already working on it. This recording that we're doing on Zoom is going to go right into Vimeo,
Right.
and then it's going to go right. It's
Translated.
going to go train however many bots you have. You might have 100 bots, and 5 of them are set up to bring in interviews. It'll just automatically go and train the bots automatically without you having to do anything. And that's our advanced automation. And the other thing that's really, really cool is the fact that we could, like I just mentioned, how we have Freshdesk, okay, and it's kind of an extra thing that we put on top. But like with Freshdesk, that's for a support desk, right? Just kind of give an example. So if somebody's in there talking on my support desk widget, and then they can ask something about AIBot Studio, or they can ask something about, say, Mintbird, then what can happen is it's going to go transfer to the Mintbird bot, and then the Mintbird's going to take care of the answer, and then it's going to transfer it back over to the support desk bot. Does that make sense?
Yep. And I think that brings up something really important to understand with this, because you notice what Chad said there. He says it switches from this bot to this bot. And what's cool about this is you're not just creating a chat bot. You are creating, I don't know what the word, you're creating an employee. That's what I'm going to call it, an employee, because you create this person that has certain traits and characters and attributes and knowledge, and then you turn that into the AI bot afterwards, or the chat bot. And that's what really makes this cool. So you could, I don't know, like I said,
and that's the future of what I
call him Harry, whatever.
And that's the future of what I just talked about, because you and I are friends, so I can share these things with you. But basically, the way that we have figured that out is if I create a chat bot, say on my support desk, then I'm going to assign a tag that says Mintbird, which is our funnel builder, Entourage, which is our mastermind, Letterman, which is our newsletter builder, Global Control, which is our CRM, right? I'm kind of teasing your viewers right now, right? All that stuff, right? You got to hit up Ray if you're interested in all that.
So, you should know about a lot of it already, guys.
So what happens though, Ray? So let's say I just do a training on Mintbird. So that training goes into the training center. It can be a simple video, and we assign a tag Mintbird. And then what happens? There's 4 bots over here that have that tag Mintbird. And so the software knows, okay, let's start training those bots. That's the big, big arching play with this. Yep. And that's what I'm most excited about, right? The smoking gun for this launch is the ability to create the bot very fast and deploy it to the Meta properties with one click. But I'm just here to tell you, you guys are getting into something so much bigger than what meets the eye right now. And where we start is not where we end up, right?
Love it. Love it. But for now, that chatbot is pretty damn good. And like I said, we were able to make ours in 2 to 3 minutes. Chad obviously can make his in, 2 minutes because he's done it a million times.
1 minute and 56 seconds.
1 minute and 56 seconds. And by the way, when we say that, that is creating that employee and then implementing that employee into the chat box that then can be put on the site. So all of that in less than 2 minutes. So it's.
Yeah. And if there's anybody going, this is too techy for me and everything.
It's not. Like I said, if I can do it.
It's easier than any, man, compare it to another piece of software, Ray. Like it's easier than building any page, sending out any newsletter, sending out any email.
Yep. All right, let's put it this way. You guys have probably used some of those pop links, called Page Sprout now, but back in the day, pop links or Mintbird. And you know how simple and easy it was to create that landing page? But in the landing page, you got to type in all the stuff still. So it's faster than that to do an entire chatbot for your site. It's crazy how easy that is to do.
Yeah. And timing's everything with this. The timing could not be better. Like you guys are watching this presentation right at the perfect time.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So that's the first half. There's a second half to this. Do you want me to go into that at all?
Yeah, I think so.
And this is a part that nobody knows. I think you just now started mentioning it to them, but I I created a process that I discovered out there that I think is probably one of the number one things that everybody should be focused on. And I call it the InstaSurge Automation Matrix. Damn. The InstaSurge Automation Matrix. All right. So there's one platform everybody should be paying attention to. It is not TikTok. It is not Facebook. Okay. You get a lot of views on TikTok. Yeah. A lot of conversations on Messenger. Yeah. Okay. All that. But on Instagram, people are raising their hands, saying, email me, send me that link. Where do I buy? And what if I told you it's all free traffic? It's all free traffic. So for the first time ever, Ray, I've been in this business since 1998. I've always stayed away from these words. You are going to get leads and sales while you sleep. I could never say that before, but it's absolutely 100% true now. And so what I would encourage everybody to do is go on Instagram and just start looking up how to build a business, look up ChatGPT, look up AI, look up all that stuff. And you'll see these posts. Matter of fact, I was just showing Connie one a minute ago. That was really, really good. I keep bookmarking these things because I'm like, are you saying this? Like I'm in disbelief, right? So this is a simple video, and it doesn't have to be a video, but this is a simple video with a hook. And the hook says, I asked ChatGPT to turn my Instagram into a client-generated machine, and I 5x my client base in 5 days. There's nothing to go back and forth or anything. It's one freaking video that was done with Canva with no video skills, and it could have been an image, one hook. And Ray, from that, there's 2,246 comments.
Yes, there are.
What? And I'm not talking about, this is not an ad. This is not a sponsored post. This is not something you pay for. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. We're like, look, you were there. You were the video guy. Yeah, you still are the video guy, but the video's out the door now, right? So we went from, you and I were there from when they first introduced video into marketing, right? Remember that thing?
Yep.
And then it went into social media, and then it went to short form video. Now people don't even have the patience for short form video anymore. Now 7 seconds is too long, right? So it's probably just you and me on this interview now, because everybody probably left the first
You're missing
30 seconds in, right? But it's like now, like people don't have the patience for it. So now they know that, okay, I got to put everything right here on the screen. I got to have a hook there and some stupid image, and then tell people to comment. So guess what, man? You no longer have to be Ray Lane. You no longer have to be Chad Nicely. You no longer have to be an authority figure. You no longer have to be a Facebook ads expert. You don't have to be any of that stuff. You just need to know. And guess what? I can open up ChatGPT and say, can you give me a good hook for my Instagram post today?
It's usually what I do.
And now we go plug it into something like Canva or whatever, and it gives this. And then you tell people to comment. Now, all right, so now everybody's going to do that, and I know they are, and you're going to be super surprised. I was on with another affiliate a minute ago, and he showed me his account, and he said, here's my partner. What can we do here? Ray, he opened up a video that had 30 million views, and I said, oh my God, this is going to hurt. I said, I don't even know, because on desktop, you can't see the number of comments, right? You can't on the phone. I said, dude, I don't even think we should go there right now. I said, but let's do it. I said, click that comments. 17,000 comments. He goes, is that good? I said, yeah, it's good. You suck. You suck. And the reason why you
I can
suck
testify to that too.
is because you could have been building a list from all of those.
We had one with 40 million views and 25,000 comments.
And did you get the list?
No.
And if you had put the hook, I showed you the other day, there was an ad with a picture of peanut butter on there. Remember that? And it had like 22,000 comments again. Peanut butter. They found a way to tie peanut butter into a business. 22,000 comments, right? Okay. So everybody gets that. Go, don't take my word for it. Go look. They're everywhere. And when you see one, follow that person because guess what? They're doing it over and over and over and over and over, right? Okay. Yeah, but Chad, they have a big following and everything. Yeah, but you know what? They started somewhere and they grew very, very fast because this stuff didn't exist a year ago, right? So just
Mr. Beast
that.
was on the other day talking about how he started and the only person following him was his mother. So
this is all I would do when it comes to traffic anymore. I would not try to figure out Facebook ads. I would not try to figure out organic traffic. This is all I would do is this right here, this one strategy, right? So the secret is something called speed to lead, right? And so it's like a Harvard statistic that shows that if you don't respond to a lead within the first 5 minutes, the odds of you converting that lead or selling that lead drop by 371%. 5 minutes.
So wait, what do we do?
Yeah, what do we do? So here's the thing, right? So we built AIBot Studio so that it comments every single time somebody comments on your post. Every single time. And not only that, it uses your expert. It looks at their comment. It comes up with a reply that is 100% unique every single time.
And intelligent. That's the big thing. Intelligent response.
Yeah. And as soon as it goes and makes that post, that then gives the ability for AIBot Studio to send that person a direct message. And so now you're going to send them a link to your webinar, to your replay, to your affiliate offer, to your book, to your template, to whatever you have. And this is what's awesome, right? I mean, freaking awesome. What do you think's going to happen when somebody, so if we send a link saying, hey, make sure you join Ray's interview tonight or whatever. And so somebody sees that in their DM and then they say, oh, what time is the interview? Guess what happens?
There goes your bot.
The bot kicks in. The bot kicks in. So you have like this whole matrix thing that just literally runs itself while you're sleeping. That's AIBot Studio. And that is the biggest opportunity I've ever seen. Traffic has always been a problem. If your people will just be consistent with the stupid little, they're not ads, posts.
No, they're just little.
Yeah.
I was going to say animated, but they don't even have to be animated as long as they've got a hook.
No. And here's the thing, man. If you just do that every single day, man, I've seen accounts. I've gone through so many accounts trying to understand this thing where there's like 10 views, 20 views, 30 views, 50 views. Then all of a sudden 70,000 views and then 2,000 views and then 1,000 views. And then 60
that sounds like most of my
30,000 views, right?
Yeah,
it's consistency, man. Denzel said it best, right? On the path to success, you have to have two things. Number one is discipline. Number two is consistency. And it's the same thing here.
Yeah.
Everybody for 2025, your mantra should be discipline and consistency. Take it from Denzel. I didn't create that. He created that. One of the greatest motivational speakers of all time.
And it's been tested many, many times. There was a test recently with TikTok where these two accounts, they created the exact same content. I mean, the same videos and everything. One posted every single day. One posted every 2 to 3 to 4 days. And by the end of a month, the one that posted every single day was just miles ahead.
Well, they're going to reward you. They're going to reward you for being consistent.
And that was TikTok, but still, it's the same thing on all the platforms.
Yeah, here's the thing. So you're way over there on the East Coast. I'm on the other side. I'm out here in Vegas. And I'm here to tell you that if you go to the casino every single day, most of the time you're going to lose, but you're going to win. You are going to win. It's a mathematical certainty that you're going to win. It's the same thing with social media. Are you going to hit it out of the park every single time? No. Most of the time you're going to lose.
No.
But when you win good. And as you start to combine those winnings, then the algorithm starts to change and it starts to expose you more because it knows people like your content because it sees, oh, wow, this thing got 30,000 views. I think it should be everybody's model right now. Because look, I've said it for a long time, Ray. Two things you need in every single business. What is it, Ray?
You
Two
need a
things.
product to sell and people to sell it to.
Something to sell and somebody to sell to. I've been preaching that for the longest time. I still preach it, right? And Ray and I have been teaching you for a long time how to have something to sell. We've been masters at product creators with software, with courses, with everything else. Oh, you get the resale rights. Da, 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 da. Traffic has always been a problem. Not anymore. Our answer was always Facebook ads, organic, SEO, video, like all
List
this.
building.
Not anymore. Just watch. And look, don't take my word for it. Don't take his word for it. Go get on Instagram after I'm done and just have a holy SH moment yourself. Because that's what I did. And it was so much of a moment, Ray, that I said, I got to go build a piece of software.
Yep.
And by the way, this is a Facebook approved app. Not the easiest thing to do. There's another app out there called ManyChat. It's very expensive, very complicated. We already talked about it. It'll do kind of what I'm doing here, but it's not 100% unique like ours is. You basically put in 3 responses and it does it. But it goes big old mind map. Mine's not a mind map. You can ask Ray. It's one click, turn on comment, one click, turn on messaging.
Yep. And I've done that with ManyChat back in the day. I mean, just putting in all the information manually and, they might ask, what are my hours? Okay, here's the answer you give them. All right, what else do they ask? Oh, they're going to ask, what's the price? Okay, here are the prices. Well, what else are they going to ask? I have no idea. And, people ask weird things. AI will answer weird things.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me back then. A lot of people tried to get me into, my friend Carl tried to get me involved in the, I couldn't do it. It just didn't make sense. It was too much manual labor and that big old map was too confusing.
Yep.
Now you cut out that map, you tie your expert to it, and that expert replaces that whole entire map. And it's phenomenal.
Yep.
It's phenomenal. And it's the future. And I don't want to say, I saw a very, very wise post the other day that said, AI is not going to take away people's jobs. The people that are running the AI are going to take away the jobs. That was very smart. That was very smart. So it's a good time to adapt it and not be scared of it. And this is a great way to do it.
Yep.
And we're just
had somebody the other day. They said crypto was the last big thing where all these millionaires were made, and now it's AI. Got to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Well, we're going to stay ahead of the curve. And it's just a matter, do people want to come on with us on this journey, right? And it's an introductory launch special, so I don't know why you want it.
That's right. And speaking of that, this Tuesday, so today is it is Sunday the 2nd right now as we're recording this, but on Tuesday the 4th, 10 a.m. Eastern time, that's when your webinar is going to be, the introductory webinar, and you're going to teach everybody exactly what this thing can do. You want to tell them a little bit about the webinar so they can be prepared for that?
Well, I mean, I can't really tell you myself. I never know what happens on those things, right? They're very unscripted, very spontaneous. It's very, very hands-on, very community-oriented, right? High levels of energy. I will break down that formula more. I will give you exact case studies, what's going to happen, and then we're going to show everything about the software. And of course, we'll have an offer out there. We'll have an incredible opportunity. I opened this up a minute ago, Ray, but whenever we do our launches, we always have a box. Are you ready to do are you ready to do
the sad part is I believe I received my box because my wife said, you got this big box for something. Of course, I'm, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually up in Rhode Island taking care of my dad, and I have been for weeks and weeks and weeks. And my wife said, you got some big box from somebody else. Said it's from Chad. I'm like, oh, I know what that's going to be.
Yeah. And then this, I'll show you. This is everything, man. So this is the front, right? So this is part of our platinum package. We'll cover it on the webinar on Tuesday. But see what that says there?
Yeah.
It says your business needs AI, more time, more sales, more profits. Ask me how. So whenever we do these workshops, we put people in a position where they're going to get clients from it, right? But for the first 250 action takers, we always have these boxes it's a pain in the butt for us to do these, but we have these boxes
They're
that
awesome, though.
are,
They are
yeah,
awesome.
they're awesome. They're going out. And so this will be no different, right? And we'll talk about the client angle. We have our multi-client thing. We'll talk about the event that we have coming up. Hopefully you can come out here and be a part of it. And yeah, it'll just be a great time.
That's awesome. All right. So there you go, guys. That is this Tuesday, the 4th, 10 a.m. You're going to learn all about the insides and learn even more than you learned tonight. This is just a little sampler. You got to show up Tuesday to really get the big meal off of this and learn exactly what you're going to be able to do and how to do it. And I guarantee you're going to be blown away by how simple it, well, you won't be. You've probably already watched my video. You know how simple it is. Now you got to get your hands on it. And I was telling Chad earlier, this is one of the first times where I've been promoting a product like this or talking about a product coming like this, and people are calling me on the phone. Tell me more about this AI bot thing. And I've never had that before where people are calling me on the phone beforehand to find out more about it. So it seems like everybody's excited, and you should be, because every business needs this. Do you know how many times I've gone to a page and just been mad at the company because they didn't have an instant? I mean, like, it really gets me mad. Even big companies,
Yeah.
AWeber, the other day, oh my gosh, I can't talk to somebody right now and get an answer to my question. Are you kidding me? So this is an opportunity for even you. If you're a much smaller business, you can still do this. There's
Yeah.
no reason you can't do it. There's no reason you can't be answering your customers at any time of the day and night, and hopefully making more sales directly because people are getting their answers when they need them. So
Well,
that'll,
and here's the thing, man. They're going to buy it from somebody here before too long. It might as well be you.
that's
I
right.
mean, I would say this much, right? If your people aren't making the money they want to make, it's because they're not asking for it, because the demand's out there.
Yep. No, just a matter of getting out there. And like I said, I was working with a client this past couple of days that just, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the answer for what he wants to do. That whole meta thing is exactly what he needs to be doing. And we're going to be implementing that. So it's going to be exciting. We'll be throwing that in there as part of the
Yeah.
whole.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Chad, thank you for coming out here on a Sunday evening and taking the time to be able to do
Oh,
this,
you're
because
welcome.
I always appreciate you. And,
Thanks,
for
man.
those of you who don't know, like Chad said, we've known each other for, I don't know, 20 years. I don't even know how long it's been, but on and off for 20 years, even though mostly it's like this, although we have met in person once, but most of the time it's been through these interviews and online. And Chad and I probably spend way too much time on Zoom together than two adult men should. But we're always getting something done and always learning something new. So I appreciate
Yep.
everything you do, and I want to thank you for coming on tonight and
You're welcome.
letting everybody know a little bit more about AIBot Studio. And like I said, guys, Tuesday morning, you got to be there. You got to learn about this. I'm going to keep hammering you to get you on there. You got to show up for the webinar because you're going to learn a whole lot. And of course, you're going to get a special deal if you show up there to get started before everybody else.
There you go. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it.
All right. You guys have a great night, and we will see you on Tuesday. Do not miss this. Be there on Tuesday. All right. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Done.
Good.
All
Is that
right.
good?